Today's gospel presents the last scene of a tragic drama with three main characters, as we heard: Herod, Herodias, and John the Baptist. Herod Antipas was a jealous, weak puppet king with a guilty conscience. He feared the prophet John because John had publicly scolded him by divorcing his legal wife without adequate cause and for marrying his sister-in-law, Herodias, thus committing a double violation of the Mosaic law. Herodias was an immoral, greedy woman, stained by a triple guilt and publicly criticized by John. She was an unfaithful woman of loose morals. She was a greedy and vengeful woman. She was evil. She was an evil mother who used her teenage daughter for the wicked purposes of murder and revenge by encouraging her to dance in public in the royal palace against the royal etiquette of the day. Let us remember that sins of revenge and cruelty will never go unpunished. Regret, fear, and guilt are common effects of a conscience that is in conflict. Herod the Tetrarch is a good example of what happens when we do not resolve that conflict within ourselves. The only way to resolve the interior confusion of a conflicted conscience is to humbly submit to the truth. Imagine if Herod would have repented. Imagine if he would have sought out Jesus. Imagine if he confessed his sins and begged for forgiveness. What a glorious story that would have been if he did that. Instead, we have the witness of a man who has gone astray and remained obstinate in his sin. As Christians, we need to live out the moral integrity and the courage of our convictions as John did. John the Baptist was a fiery preacher and the herald of the promised Messiah. He was also a spirit-filled prophet with courage of his convictions, who criticized and scolded an oriental monarch and his proud wife in public. So now reflect today upon this unholy witness of Herod. God can use all things for his glory, and he can even use the example of Herod to reveal to us any similar tendency. Do you struggle with regret, fear, or guilt? Does this cause conflict within you? Do you go against your own conscience at times in your life? Well, then the good news is that this conflict is easily and can be resolved by a humble heart that seeks the truth.